too loud so the echo in here does not get ridiculous. But either way, what we're going to go over today is a pretty basic concept. I haven't done something like this in a while. Actually, I've never done something like this. So let me know if you actually think it's helpful and worthwhile. But one thing that I want to bring up is when it comes down to dieting, pretty much how do you get on your diet, how do you start your diet. I really want to put forth some information that could be useful to you either now, in the future, or if you want to help somebody else, either send them a link to this video, tell them to come see me, or to shoot me a message, whatever one you want to do. At least you have somewhere to send them. But either way, what I want to go over real quick, briefly, and summarized is going to be the idea of macro dieting. So, what is macro dieting? How does it work? To me, it makes sense. To a lot of my friends, it does make sense. It's the simplest thing. Sure, everybody knows what macro dieting is. Here's the problem. Not everybody does. So we're going to break it down and we're going to go through it a few different ways. Either way, we're going to summarize and keep it quick. One way, it's going to be short and sweet, so I can cut that clip and put it on Instagram so people get the idea. And the other one's going to be a YouTube video, so if you guys want to stay tuned for the long haul, then again, I'm going to try to keep this video probably under, or at least this portion of the video, anywhere from like 7 to 10 minutes. Could be longer because it is a lot to cover, but we'll try to keep it quick, and the camera battery's dying, so we'll see how much time we got. So, what is macro dieting? Macro dieting is essentially, if you've ever heard of IIFYM, if you've ever heard of flexible dieting, if you've ever heard of macro dieting, if you've ever heard of carb cycling, or have ever heard of people on the diet that says they can eat whatever they want. All of this, in some way, shape, or form, funnels back into what is macro dieting. So you pretty much listed every diet there is. What isn't macro dieting? Macro dieting is not your typical, what you might hear as bro dieting. It's not your salad diets where you only eat salad or substitute all of your meals out for lettuce. And it's not your juicing diets where you'll hear people say just juice your foods or eat all natural juiced foods in replace of meals. Those are calorie diets. Now, calorie diets also factor into being macro diets. That's the twist. But the only thing is, when you're on a calorie diet, you are not monitoring your macros. But what are macros? Macros is short for macronutrients. Your macronutrients are your fats, your carbs, which are also abbreviated as CHO, and proteins. We'll put PRO for those. Those are going to be your proteins. Together, all of this, fat, carbs, and proteins, gives you your calories. Fats, carbs, and proteins. Now, how does fat, carbs, and proteins give you your calories? For every 1 gram of fat, I'm going to change colors for this because this is important. For every 1 gram of fat, you have 9 calories. For every 1 gram of carb, you have 4 calories. For every 1 gram of protein, you have an additional 4 calories. So, what is macro dieting? Macro dieting is finding the fat, carbs, and proteins that adequately fuel your body and make you perform towards what your goals are. Whether that goal be fat loss, muscle gain, muscle retention, and or contest prep, everything can boil down to some addition of macro dieting and factoring into your macronutrients. That was a short abbreviated version. Again, still kind of long-winded, but now we're going to get to it a little bit more. So first, I kind of want to break down all of these, what these are. IIFYM stands for if it fits your macros. So if it fits your carbs, fat, and protein intake for the day, then you're good. You can eat it. And that is closely tied to people saying, I can eat whatever I want on IIFYM. So say for example, we have a person, these numbers in no way relate to what they would be. We have a person who has, so to fat, F for fat, C for carbs, P for protein. You have an allotment of 60 grams. 60 grams of fat. You have 200 grams of carbs, and you have 150 grams of protein. This right here is your daily allotment. That's what you're allowed to have per day. You guys ever see a food label on the back of every one of those packages? Probably one of those things that you try to avoid looking at. Either way, on there it's going to say nutrition facts in bold. And that's going to say calories, which is a sum of your fats, carbs, and protein. But you know what? We're going to figure out what is this person's calories for the day. We'll even be legit here. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a guy that knows about nutrition. So, 60, if every 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So we're going to multiply 60 by 9. You're going to get 540, I like standing on this side, calories. If every 1 gram of carb is 4 calories, you multiply 200 by 4, and you're at 800. You have 800 calories. 150, if every gram of protein is 4 calories, you have 150, multiply that by 4, you have 600. And you add all those together, plus 800, plus 540. And this person's on 1,940 calories that they're taking in from food per day. Alright, so just had to switch cameras because my other camera actually ended up dying. Told you it was going to happen. I told you it would. But either way, the video quality might be a little bit different, but the sound quality might be a whole lot better because I got a mic on this camera. But either way, like I was saying, where does all this come into play? 60 grams of fat, 200 grams of carbs, 150 grams of protein. What does all that mean? And actually grab this protein bar too. But on the back of any type of food product, you're going to see a nutrition fact label because it's required to be on there. On the nutrition fact label, it's going to say, first of all, nutrition facts, total fat, total carbohydrate, which is CHO, which is C, and protein. For example, this bar, we'll use purple. This is where the concept of I can eat whatever I want, like eat whatever you want on this diet. When people say, oh, it doesn't matter. Macro dieting, how do you calculate food into your macros? Flexible dieting, which is also a variation of eating whatever you want. This is how all that works. So say right now, I feel like eating this protein bar. Can I eat this protein bar? This protein bar has 8 grams of fat. This protein bar has 24 carbs. And this protein bar has 21 grams of protein. Let's put up these columns here. My phone's going off. It has 21 grams of protein. And then it says for the total calories, I'm not even right on the board because the total calories don't really matter. But this bar says it has 230. However, so now can I eat this bar? If I just woke up and this is first thing in the morning and I want this bar, I can have this bar. I can eat whatever I want, quote unquote, and this bar is what I want. So what do I do? How do I figure that out? You just subtract them. You subtract your allotment for the day, which is this row, from, don't mind the motorcycle outside, that's my brother. You subtract your allotment for the day, which is this row, from the food at the time. This is the food that we're eating. So right here you have 8 grams of fat, and in this bar, subtract that from your 60 grams. You have 52 fat, 200 grams for the day of carbs that are allowed. This bar has 24, so you minus that and you have and then you have 150 grams of you have 150 grams of protein for the day. You minus 21 from that, and you're at. So that means for the remainder of the day, these are your new calories. Well, no, not new calories. These are your new macros. And if you do the math for these, kind of like we did in this row, that would be your remaining calories for the day. I don't know if I do that math, let's put XXX. Triple S. Those are your remaining calories and macros for the day. So now, the next time you want a food for the day, say you want another protein bar, same exact thing. You find the fat, the carbs, and the protein, and you subtract it from whatever numbers you have left. So if you wanted another bar, you just 852, subtract the 8.
Oh, my bad.
Trying to make a video, man.
Yeah.
Trying to educate some people. I just told them you were outside on a motorcycle. Trying to explain the concept of macro dieting. See, close the door real quick. Close the door.
Yeah.
Do you understand what macro dieting is?
No, I probably have to watch this video.
But have you been macro dieting?
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel the results are? How do you like it? Go ahead, tell them. Tell them.
What's up, guys? I personally like it. I can eat whatever I want. As long as I stick within my macros.
Eating whatever you want. I told it, see? Same feeling. IIFYM, which is if it fits your macros, which is a factor of macro dieting. So what I'm trying to explain here is that essentially you have an allotment for the day of your fats, carbs, and protein. You find whatever food that you want. Say, I want to eat this protein bar. This bar has 8 grams of fat, 24 grams of carbs, and 21 grams of protein. Subtract that from your daily totals, and then this is your remaining macronutrients for the day. Easy enough, sound about right?
Yeah, that's about it, yeah.
In a nutshell, that's the sum of macro dieting. All in one.
Good luck, man. Make sure to tune into this video. Hope I'm featuring in it. Best of luck, guys. Good luck,
You didn't even
guys.
mean to walk in. I know you didn't. But essentially, in a nutshell, that's exactly what macro dieting is. And yes, he is older brother. That's it. Like there's no need to overcomplicate it. That's I was literally gonna go on like a long tangent, but that's pretty much what it is. And now, what isn't macro dieting? When I said bro dieting, what is bro dieting? Bro dieting is when everyone figures out, oh, chicken and rice. What are you eating? Chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice. That's all I eat. I just eat chicken, I just eat rice. Sweet potato, regular potato, which is fine. You can do that, and honestly, I'm kind of guilty of that. I pretty much do that right now. I factor that all into my macros, but since I'm on contest prep for a show, then bro dieting is essentially what I do. It kind of eliminates any, like, X factors. So when you're competing for a show, there could be X, so it's like having too much, say, Splenda. Splenda's 0 calorie. Some people don't care. Or at the same time, if you ask championship bodybuilders, they might tell you that Splenda causes excess water retention, which causes bloating, which makes you look differently. See, now that's a topic for a whole nother video. But just other things that to consider when you're doing stuff that's 0 calorie. Is it good for you? Is it bad for you? Right now, if you can get the main concept of being macro dieting, what is macro dieting and how macro dieting works, then you're all set. When you go online and you hire a coach and the coach says, oh, this is what you want to eat, this is how you're going to eat, or you eat these macros, what you're essentially paying them for is to find out how much fat you can have a day, how much carbs you can have a day, and how much protein you can have in a day. That's a factor of pretty much your height, your weight, your activity level. So what's your current weight at now? How many calories you should be taking in? From those calories, how many of those calories should come from fat? How much of those calories should come from carbs? And how much of those calories should come from protein? That's all a factor of what your goals are. If your goal is to put on muscle, to lose weight, which is different than losing muscle. So again, if you go on a low-calorie diet, you might lose weight. You probably are going to lose weight. But if you just completely cut calories, there's no saying what you're cutting. Yeah, I'll eat less fat, I'll eat less carbs, and eat less protein. Or now you're eating more fat, but you're eating less protein and less carbs, but your overall calories are lower. So that makes sense, right? At the end of the day, will you lose weight? Yes, you will lose weight. However, at what expense? You're going to lose muscle that you may have. Whether you work out every day of your life or you've never worked out, period, your body still has a level of muscle. So if you just go low-calorie diet, the likelihood that you're going to lose the majority of weight from muscle loss is rather high. That's why with diets such as macro dieting or flexible dieting, if it fits your macros, that's why these are great diets, because it works with your body, your individual person, with who you are, and it makes sure that we can do the best that we can to save the muscle. And when we lose weight, We like to change that to losing fat, because that's the end goal. Some people just want to, hey, yeah, you know, I'd love to lose weight, period. Awesome. But if you can if you're gonna get on a plan anyway, you're gonna set forth towards like losing weight, you might as well lose the weight from the right place. So I'm not gonna go ahead and make this video longer than it has to be. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, leave them below, shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, slide in my DMs, whichever one you wanna do. But either way, let me know that you watched this video, if it was helpful. Hopefully it was. I wish I had more time. I would delve into like flexible dieting and like carb cycling more in depth. I might do those in future videos. If you guys like this, if you found that it helped, any remaining questions you have, like I said, leave it below. Thanks for watching. etnfitness.com. Feel free to go on there, and there'll be a wealth of information. I'm going to try to get the link for this video on there as well. And as weeks go on, I'm going to try to add more videos through there. They'll also link you through to my YouTube.